My sister, 18-year-old female, is starting college this fall. She doesn't have a car but will need one because she'll be commuting to school while living at home. At the beginning of the year, I, 27-year-old male, told her that I'd help her pay for a car as a graduation gift, and I'd pay for the first $5,000 of her monthly payments. She has an almost full-ride scholarship and is living at home, so this will probably be her only recurring bill outside of school fees and supplies. I did this so that when she started working, she could build as much of a savings net as possible if something came up. My parents, my sister, and I originally agreed on a maximum of $25,000, $30,000. This car isn't meant to last her a decade. She's never owned a car before. This is her baby's first car. It's supposed to be an affordable used car for a college kid to get around in. It should last her for college, and then she can figure out what to do from there. Well, I was lied to because she and my parents went out and bought a brand new Jeep yesterday. I'm livid my parents co-signed for her to get this. Not only did they buy a $65,000 brand new car, but they financed a $10,000 down payment at an even higher annual percentage rate, APR, for some reason. For some insight, my parents cannot afford this car themselves, and they can't even afford the new payments on the loan they got for the $10,000. There's a reason I'm the one helping out with the payments on this, not them. My sister does not even have a job yet, which was supposed to be step one before we even got her the car. I'm livid. The $5,000 I had set aside for her won't even last the summer if we put it towards the car and loan payments. The whole reason I did this is now basically moot because she'll have to cover the payments while she's in school. My parents have good credit somehow, but have $0 cash at the end of each month. So I'm pretty sure once my $5,000 runs dry, the car will be repossessed for non-payment in the next year or so. What boils my blood even more is they know I'm livid, but don't care. Mom went on a whole hour about how my sister's eyes lit up at the sight of the car, and you would not have said no either if you were there. We had talked about this for months. My sister and parents both know 100% that she will not be able to afford this car, but they don't care now. I'm considering backing out. I'll tell them to return the car, and we return to the original plan, or else I'll just invest the $5,000 in a 5-year bond for my sister. I want some opinions on this plan. Edit, quick clarification. My gift to her is a total of $5,000 that was to be used for monthly payments. The way I worded it was weird, I think, originally. I did not promise to help with the down payment or anything else fee-related. She had savings to cover that. I was going to pay the first $5,000 of monthly payments after that. Edit to an update. Some people are asking why the original car purchase price we decided on of $25,000, $30,000 was so high. I agree, that's pretty high for an unemployed college kid. That was meant to be an absolute max that you need to think very carefully about total, fees included. I was encouraging them to go for $10,000, $15,000, but was talked up to a $25,000. $30,000 max. I also just got confirmation that the deal was finalized yesterday. There's no returning the Jeep. I was mistaken about how used versus new cars are treated with cool-down period laws. She and my parents are screwed. Thanks for the advice so far. Going to think this over tonight and figure out how much of this circus I want to be a part of. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. There was an agreement of a $25,000. $30,000 maximum. They didn't adhere to that agreement and didn't consult you when deciding to get a $65,000, which is double the amount of the original agreement. Your parents co-signed a car they can't afford and one she can't afford. They will soon learn if they don't return it that they made a horrible decision. And to be more responsible when deciding to take on any contract out of the price range. Just do what feels best moving forward. Don't let them drag you into covering for their bad choice. They are both grown adults and should have known better than making such a rash decision over lit-up eyes. Comment 2. Not the idiot, but your parents are, and are acting like children themselves. For some insight, my parents cannot afford this car themselves, and they can't even afford the new payments on the loan they got for the $10,000. There's a reason I'm the one helping out with the payments on this, not them. My sister does not even have a job yet, which was supposed to be step one before we even got her the car. They are setting your sister up to fail. The Jeep goes back and a cheaper secondhand car comes back home, or they are on their own. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the comments and advice on my last post. It's been a rough couple of weeks since then, and I wanted to give you all an update on what's been going on. So after finding out about the $65,000 Jeep my sister and parents bought, I had a long talk with them. I explained that I couldn't afford to help with the payments on such an expensive car, and that they needed to return it and stick to our original plan. Well, that conversation didn't go over too well. My parents got defensive and started arguing that my sister deserved the car and that I was being unfair by backing out of my promise to help. Things got pretty heated, and I ended up storming out of the house. I was so frustrated and angry that they had gone behind my back and made such a reckless decision. I didn't talk to them for a few days after that, trying to figure out what to do. In the meantime, my sister started her first semester of college. She was struggling to balance her classes and the long commute, especially without a reliable car. I felt bad for her, but I also knew that I couldn't enable my parents' irresponsible behavior. After a lot of soul-searching, I decided to stick to my guns. I told my parents that I would only help with the car payments if they returned the Jeep and got something more affordable. They were upset, but they eventually agreed. We ended up finding a used Honda Civic for around $15,000. It was in good condition and had low mileage, so I felt comfortable helping with the payments. I gave my sister the $5,000 I had originally promised, which covered the down payment and the first few months of payments. Things were going well for a while, but then my sister started having trouble keeping up with her classes. She was spending so much time commuting that she wasn't able to study as much as she needed to. Her grades started slipping, and she was getting really stressed out. I tried to help her as much as I could, offering to tutor her and even driving her to campus a few times when her car was in the shop. But it was clear that something needed to change. That's when I had an idea. I remembered that my old college roommate had started a tutoring business a few years back. I gave him a call and asked if he had any openings for new clients. As luck would have it, he did. I offered to pay for my sister's tutoring sessions, which would take place online so she wouldn't have to worry about commuting. She was hesitant at first, but I convinced her to give it a try. It ended up being a game changer. With the extra help, my sister was able to get her grades back up and even started enjoying her classes more. She told me that she felt like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. Looking back, I realized that this whole experience taught me a lot about the importance of communication and setting boundaries. I learned that I need to be clear about my expectations and limitations, even with family. And I also learned that sometimes the best way to help someone is by empowering them to help themselves. I'm proud of my sister for working hard and turning things around, and I'm grateful that I was able to support her in a way that felt right for both of us. It hasn't been easy, but I feel like we're in a much better place now. Anyway, that's the update for now. Thanks again for all the advice and support. It really means a lot. My childhood friend's girlfriend hates me for no reason. So I skip his party and they beg for my forgiveness. Miles and I have known each other since we were 2 because our parents are best friends. Now, I would not say Miles is my best friend. He is a good friend and we do hang out on occasion, but we see each other on all major holidays because of our parents. We are in our early 20s. The problem started because of a dumb childhood memory. When we were 8, we had a wedding play at school after care. I played the bride and Miles played the groom. It was a play with horrible songs and uncoordinated kids. Obviously, our parents took pictures and videos of that, and we each have one picture on our family picture walls. Miles is dating Lindy. They met 3 years ago and started dating last year. Lindy does not like me, so every time we coincide at a celebration, she makes a comment about me being the typical girl best friend. One time she said that I secretly wanted to sleep with Miles. I have no clue where she got that impression from. Miles and I have different friend groups and schedules. Besides the monthly catch-up over food, we didn't really meet that much. Things got worse when Lindy saw the wedding play picture. The comments just got worse. She even started DMing me on Instagram saying she knew what game I was playing. I talked to Miles once about this, and he told me to give her time. So his birthday was on Saturday and I was invited. Lindy wrote me saying something along the lines of her going to supervise me. This was their first birthday as a couple, and I was not allowed to take up his time. I was honestly just fed up. I tried talking to Miles once more, but he said the same thing. so I just skipped out. When the party started, I wrote a quick sorry I can't come and told him my mother was going to bring his present. Now he is upset with me for missing his birthday. Lindy is mad that I made it all about myself, and my parents are upset I missed a family function. Am I the idiot? Edit. I didn't show anyone the messages because I didn't want to make more out of this than it is. I didn't want to poison anyone against Lindy, especially not if she is a new fixture in Miles's life. That would make both our lives more difficult. I hoped that just talking about it might be the more adult thing. My parents are not mad at me or blowing up my phone, a la Reddit fashion. They and Miles' parents were just bummed out that this was the first birthday that I ever missed. As to why she is jealous, I have no idea. Neither of our parents ever wanted us to get together. There were no jokes or anything about it. I think they also never would want that. The wedding play picture is in the living rooms because they loved the picture and it was our first play. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Have you considered maybe Miles has led Lindy to believe there was something more between you two? Or maybe his parents/family has? For as little as you spend with Miles, it's odd she's this way. Now she could just be really insecure. For Miles not to step in and say something to her shows you where you stand within that friendship. He doesn't have to take your side, but he could tell her OP is just my friend. That's all we've ever been. Her family and my family are close. Not the idiot. Lindy made it uncomfortable for you to attend. Everyone should be on her for that, not you. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Definitely make sure your parents know the reason. Show them the text. And with Miles, keep it simple. Lindy doesn't like me and that's fine. But I'm no longer putting myself into a situation where someone actively dislikes me. I might even add, I'm sad we won't see each other as much, but this is a part of life. Friendships change, to make the point that this is now the new normal. ETA, if he keeps pushing it, give her more time, I just say no. Not interested. She's been around for 3 years. If she doesn't like me by now, she's not going to like me. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, it's been a while since my last post and a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks. First off, thanks for all the support and advice on my previous post. It really helped me gain some perspective on the situation with Miles and Lindy. So a few days after Miles's birthday party, he reached out to me and asked if we could meet up to talk. I was hesitant at first, but I agreed to meet him at a local coffee shop. When I arrived, Miles was already there and he looked pretty upset. He apologized for not taking my concerns about Lindy's behavior more seriously and admitted that he had been avoiding the issue because he didn't want to cause any drama between us. We talked for a while and I finally showed him some of the messages Lindy had sent me. He was shocked and said he had no idea she had been harassing me like that. He promised to talk to her and make it clear that her behavior was unacceptable. A few days later, I got a message from Lindy asking to meet up. I was nervous, but I agreed to meet her at a park near my house. When I arrived, Lindy was already there, and she looked like she had been crying. She apologized for her behavior and said she had been feeling insecure in her relationship with Miles and had taken it out on me. We talked for a while and I realized that Lindy had been struggling with some personal issues that had nothing to do with me. She had recently lost her job and was feeling lost and unsure about her future. She admitted that she had been projecting her own insecurities onto me and Miles's friendship. I told her that I understood how she was feeling, but that her behavior had been hurtful and unacceptable. She agreed and promised to work on her own issues and to stop harassing me. After that, things started to improve between us. Lindy and I started hanging out more and getting to know each other better. We even started working on a project together, planning a surprise party for Miles's parents' anniversary. As we worked on the party, I learned more about Lindy's background and why she had been so insecure in her relationship with Miles. It turned out that her parents had gone through a messy divorce when she was a teenager, and she had always struggled with trust issues as a result. I also learned that Miles had been planning to propose to Lindy at the party, but he was nervous about how she would react given everything that had happened between us. He asked for my advice and I told him to follow his heart and to be honest with Lindy about his feelings. The party was a huge success and Miles's parents were thrilled. At the end of the night, Miles got down on one knee and proposed to Lindy in front of everyone. She said yes and everyone cheered. Afterwards, Lindy pulled me aside and thanked me for everything I had done to help with the party and for being a good friend to Miles. She admitted that she had been wrong about me and that she was grateful for my friendship. Looking back on everything that happened, I realized that sometimes people act out when they are struggling with their own issues and insecurities. It's important to try to understand where they are coming from and to communicate openly and honestly with them. I'm glad that Miles and Lindy were able to work through their issues and that we were all able to come together to celebrate such a special occasion. It just goes to show that with a little understanding and communication, even the most difficult situations can be resolved. Thanks for reading and for all your support. My brother underpays for his son's daycare, then calls CPS on me. So I expose his lies and watch him squirm as his reputation crumbles. I, 33-year-old female, recently divorced mom, operate an in-home daycare with my sister. For the last few weeks, we have been caring for our 10-month-old nephew, our brother's son, with the expectation that my brother will eventually start paying us, including back pay. We have cared for my nephew for 14 days so far, about 7 hours per day. My brother wants me to charge only $25 per day, whereas we usually charge $60 per day. When I made a case that $30 per day is reasonable, he responded, 1, I am not a client, I am your brother, and he is your nephew first off. When you and ex-husband were considering selling your home, I was going to do a 1% commission instead of 3% because your family, which roughly would have been about an $8,500 pay cut, this was never discussed. 2, I did pay hundreds for a daycare, and I have no problem doing it again. The difference is a daycare. I know 100% I can always take my son there. With him going to y'all, we have to figure out a solution using leave hours anytime the house is down with sickness or y'all go on vacation. 3, I am compensating based on the amount of work you have to do for the 4 hours he is there. Actually, hourly, it is more than compensating. It is not my fault you chose a route where you don't make a lot of money, but that damn sure doesn't make it my responsibility to make up for it. 4, I think your mindset is a little twisted. You have the opportunity to see and build a relationship with your nephew and get paid for it separately, where we don't count toward your attendance. That is either $400, $450 a month for seeing your nephew, or if you want to be petty, it can easily be $0. 5, y'all are the ones that said over and over again you wanted to see /nephew/ more often and wished he would go there. I am not by any means strapped for money where I can't easily put him back in daycare full time, but y'all wanted to watch him, and I knew it would bring some extra money your way at the same time, so it should be a win-win. Where you have it up is you think I need to take him there, and you want to talk like he's just another kid or I'm just another client. I'm not the one to be getting in a back and forth with. If you want the money every month to see your nephew, then you need to check yourself, or I'll keep him the rest of this week and he will start somewhere else next week. I'm not here to play "you're hurting my feelings" games. Let me know, but this isn't a back and forth. I thought it was a good way for him to spend time with his family and to put some money in your pocket. If it's a problem already, just say so, and I'll gladly make other arrangements. After that, I responded that I thought his message was entitled and disrespectful, and I think it's best we do not continue a business relationship. My brother says I'm entitled, my mindset is twisted, and I should say less. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot, you are doing him a favor, not the other way around. I love that he's tried to flip that on you. Here, I'll do you a favor. Look after my child in lieu of a kid who pays the full amount and relish the time he's ever so graciously allowing you with your nephew. Well, bugger that. You did the right thing. If he has so much money, then he can pay the full amount for daycare. I don't know why he fails to realize whether it's in your home or not. You are running a daycare. He made his bed. Now he can lie in it. Comment 2. Not the idiot, you're offering a 50% discount. I get that in-home may be more reliable, but it's frick to act like you're flush with cash, but only willing to pay strangers the wage they ask. If he just paid you what you asked, he would still come out on top. His son is taking up a spot that could be filled by someone paying the full amount. He's using his nephew's relationship as a weapon, and that's pretty hurtful. He needs to grow up. Now for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for reading my last post and for all your support. It's been a week since I told my brother that we wouldn't be continuing our business relationship, And a lot has happened since then. First off, my brother did end up making other arrangements for my nephew's daycare. He found a new place and started taking him there this past Monday. It was tough not seeing my nephew every day like I had been, but I knew it was for the best given how things had gone down with my brother. Now here's where things get complicated. A few days after my nephew started at the new daycare, my sister and I got a call from Child Protective Services, CPS. Apparently, someone had made an anonymous report claiming that we were providing inadequate care for the children at our in-home daycare. The CPS worker said they needed to do an investigation and would be coming by to inspect our home and interview us. My sister and I were completely blindsided by this. We've always taken great care of the kids and have never had any issues before. We couldn't help but wonder if my brother had something to do with the report, given the timing of everything. But we had no proof, and the CPS worker wouldn't give us any information about who made the report. The CPS investigation was stressful, to say the least. They came by and looked through every inch of our house, checked all our records, and interviewed both of us extensively. They also talked to some of the parents of the kids we watch. It was a nerve-wracking few days, but in the end, they found no evidence of any wrongdoing on our part. They closed the case and told us we could continue operating our daycare as usual. But the whole experience left a bad taste in my mouth. I couldn't shake the feeling that my brother had something to do with it, even though I had no proof. It just seemed like too much of a coincidence that this would happen right after our falling out. I tried to put it out of my mind and focus on moving forward, but then something else happened that made me question everything. I got a call from our mom, who was in tears. She told me that my brother had called her and said some horrible things about me and my sister. He apparently told her that we were terrible aunts, that we didn't care about family, and that we were just using our nephew for money. I was shocked and hurt by this. I couldn't believe my brother would say such things, especially to our mom. It was like he was trying to turn everyone against us. I called him and tried to talk to him about it, but he just got defensive and started yelling at me. He said I was the one who had turned my back on family and that I was being selfish. The whole situation has been incredibly stressful and emotional. I feel like I'm being attacked from all sides, and I don't know who to trust anymore. My relationship with my brother feels irreparably damaged, and I worry about the long-term effects this will have on our family. Looking back, I realized there were signs that my brother and I had a strained relationship even before all of this happened. We've always been very different people with different values and priorities. He's always been more focused on money and success, while I've been more family-oriented. We've butted heads in the past, but I never thought it would come to this. I also can't help but wonder if my recent divorce played a role in all of this. My brother and my ex-husband were always close, and I know my brother took the divorce hard. Maybe he resents me for it and sees this as some kind of revenge. I don't know. What I do know is that I need to focus on taking care of myself and my own little family right now. My sister has been a rock through all of this, and I don't know what I would do without her. We're just trying to keep our heads down, do our jobs, and be there for each other. I wish I had some grand insight or lesson to share from all of this. But the truth is, I'm still processing everything. I'm hurt, angry, and confused. But I'm also trying to hold on to hope that somehow, someday, my family can heal from this. Only time will tell. Anyway, thanks again for letting me vent and for all your support. It means more than you know. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.